So that title is the closest that I'll ever get to clickbait, but we are in fact saying goodbye today, saying goodbye to everything that I've planted in the last however many years it's been now since I started gardening, because we're moving. So I'm just going to take you around the garden one more time here before we move to the next property, where I've just begun in the last month or two starting over. That's an asparagus, purple asparagus there coming through. Some more asparagus back there, and then the strawberries. Strawberries are just about getting to the point where they're in full production. We've eaten many, but it's not quite in its full force of production yet. I think the new homeowners will get more strawberries out of here than we will, although we will be in here cleaning these out one more time before we get out of here. I think the squirrels have been enjoying them too. Golden Delicious apple, tons of fruit on it. These apples that are producing fruit, which is just 2 here in the backyard. They keep getting more and more every year. It almost doubles, seems like, every year. So we got 20 fruit last year, it's going to be 40 this year. This is the best tree right here as far as production. Liberty. I think I just in this about a cubic foot right here, I think I counted something like 30 apples on the vine, or on the tree. And then many more. This tree's definitely done the best. It's supposed to. It's a disease-resistant variety, Liberty apple. Apples aren't my favorite, but they're decent. They're okay. That's an oregano, which is a perennial. I had 2 oreganos. I dug that one up and took it to my new property. The new owners get this one. I didn't do a bunch of planting. These are radishes and beets. I don't like either one of those, but I had planted them in hopes that they would pop up for the showing of the house. They didn't, but that was the goal, and I'll just leave them here for the new owners. They're taking over in 2 days. This is spinach. It's bolting. Same deal. The only reason I planted these beds out this year was to maybe make it look good for the showing, the open house and such, but it got cold right after I planted everything, so not a lot popped up. That's a potato right there that I must not have dug all of them up. Again, for the same reason. There's lettuce in here, but there's a lot of weeds too. This is garlic. The new homeowner is going to share some of this with me. We have an agreement. That tree, I don't know. This one I think will produce fruit next year. It's finally getting some height on it. One of them is Sweet 16 and one of them is Honey Crisp. I don't remember which. And this one, as I've said in other videos, I don't think will ever produce fruit until that maple tree right there is gone. So, blackberries, they've seen better days. I had to cut a bunch of this out of here. I'm not sure why. I moved the fence. So the fence used to go around like this so things can't get in, but I moved the fence to keep the dogs in the backyard in the winter, and then I just never got it back put it back because I knew we were moving. So deer get in here, and I don't know what else, groundhog, squirrels, etc. That's a grape. I was able to successfully get cuttings off that grape and take them out to the new property. Anything else back here? These are just volunteer garlic, I think. Out in the front yard, by far the most amount of blueberries I've ever seen on these front 2 plants, which I forget the varieties now. I've got blueberries that are supposed to be delivered to my new house here any day. That is a blueberry also, and I see a few there, but it's not as far along as the other ones. Granny Smith and a Fuji-like apple tree here. Still getting damage. I think this is deer. I don't know. Deer keep setting these trees back. I don't know if they'll ever get to a point where they're producing fruit. I guess they will, but that's somebody else's problem now. Other side of the front yard, this is the Bartlett pear that produced something like 20 pears. I think we actually ate like 13. The wildlife got the rest, or they fell off or something, but lots more this year. Lots more this year. So of course we finally get pears on this pear tree that I planted, and we eat a dozen of them, then we're moving. But I have pear trees already planted at my new place. The Moonglow, still a healthy looking tree, no fruit. Come on, Moonglow. Just telling my neighbor here just about an hour ago that this is a fig tree. She couldn't believe that figs grew here, but that's even a fig that didn't ripen on the vine before it got, or on the tree before it got too cold. So there'll be figs on this tree in 2 months. These are the leaves that are coming out. I might have even said in another video that I wasn't sure if it's true to variety, but I just recently learned that figs, they don't do the grafting onto rootstock. So these are true to the variety. I think one of them is a Chicago Hardy and the other one is a Desert King. Those are the only two varieties that will produce figs in my climate, Michigan. And then these 3 columnar apples, which hadn't produced fruit in years. I think the middle one produced fruit like the first year, and then for 3 years nothing. They all got apples on them this year. So that's pretty cool, but it's somebody else's now. There's one. There's the proof. There's at least one. And then this one's got a bunch. There. So does this. And there. And right there. And another one that back there. I guess the last thing I want to show is not about food, but still, it's just in my front yard. This just looks beautiful right now. So that thing is just past flowering, but you can still see some flowers on it. That thing's in full bloom right now. The cherry tree, thankfully, did bloom just in time for the open house. So it's kind of interesting because that blooms, and when those blooms die off, this one blooms, and when that starts to go away, this one blooms, and when that starts to go away, even the 9-barks start to put pretty flowers on like that. So it's never quite looked this good, and again, it's bittersweet to be walking away from this because I planted everything you see in here, and I dug out a bunch of stuff ahead of time too. Right? You know, when we moved in, everything was overgrown, so I basically started over and starting over once again. But I got 2.5 acres and a lot more of a blank slate to deal with out in Alto, so we're excited about it. Today is moving day, so I got to get back to work. Don't drop this channel. I will put more videos out once we're settled out at the new place. Take care.